No matter how you look at this stuff, we've
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Live from SNJ Today Studios, Southern New Jersey, broadcasting live around the world. This is Rockin' with the Rock. And here's the Rock.
Good evening, everyone. You are rocking with the Rock on SNJ Today, 1240 AM and SNJToday.com. High above Millville, live from the Glassworks, I am Mark Benedetto, and thanks for joining me for a very short version of Rockin' with the Rock, because tonight at 7:30, Angels Baseball pregame live is here on 1240 AM, so my 2-hour show is cut back to 90 minutes tonight, unfortunately. If you want to call in tonight, please do so at 856-765-1240, 856-765-1240. As always, check out my Facebook page for the latest updates on my show, which is SNJ Today's Rockin' with the Rock. And while you're on Facebook, check out our own station page, SNJ Today. Follow us on Twitter at SNJ Today. Now, ladies and gentlemen out there in Radio Land tonight, I have a very special guest here in front of me, the Non-Domestiks, Katrina and Rozaba. And it's all because of you out there, because a couple weeks ago I said on my show, if you have any suggestions or requests for guests to come on, to reach out to them, and I definitely did. And a lot of my listeners out there, as you know, like to hang out at the local bars here in Millville and the music scene, and they mentioned a couple of band names, so I reached out to some of them, and the one that responded back is right here in front of me tonight, the Non-Domestiks. So we're going to get started right now with the interview here on SNJ Today's Rockin' with the Rock. All right, live in the studio here in front of me to my right, I have Rozaba, and to my left I have Katrina. So welcome, and thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for having us.
So I know it's a miserable night out there. I know you appreciate you driving down here in this rainy conditions, so thanks again. And why don't we get started and tell the listeners now about what is the Non-Domestiks? So before we jump into the actual band, let's start breaking down about how your career started off. I believe you started at 5 years old playing, or 7 years old playing piano, and Katrina was 5 years old. So from a young age, you definitely started into the music. Now, how did that happen? Was that more about family saying you should play an instrument, or is it more about, I just want to get involved now and learn how to play music?
There were musical instruments just lying around the house. My dad bought a piano, and it was just there. And I also was very influenced by my older sister, who was into the Beatles, and she was really a major music lover and rock lover and had albums everywhere, and I just would steal them and go in my room and sit for hours and listen to them, and I just wanted to, it just made me want to play, and I just took to it and just sat at the piano and just started banging out, and it all started from there.
What was the first song that you learned, like, wow, I could actually play something for once?
I think it was Mary Had a Little Lamb, but I learned it by ear, I did.
That's great. And how about you, Katrina? How about yourself?
Basically, we had a piano in the house, and everybody played. And I was the youngest, so everybody was playing. And I was like, well, it looks like fun. I want to do it, too. So, and they had a piano in my first grade school class, which was really nice because then, I didn't have to go out for recess. I could just play the piano. It started at a young age.
Yeah, it was definitely an escape for me. I was kind of a loner as a kid, and music was definitely my escape, and that's why I would just play for hours. I taught myself how to improvise on the piano and just would disappear into it for hours. So.
And from piano, then you progressed to other instruments, I'm guessing?
Yeah, when I was 16, I started going to concerts and wanted to play guitar, like all the greats that were in front of me, and I took a few lessons, and then after that I pretty much went on my own, and you really love the guitar, and from there later in my adult years I got into bass and drums as of late. I would say maybe the past 10 years I've been playing drums. So.
And Katrina, I know going from piano, I see on your bio that you've written almost 250 songs on your guitar. So, wow.
Well, actually, that's guitar and piano. Yeah, well, it's something that if you like, there was a period that was really prolific, and I would write, maybe 15 or 20 a year, and so all it takes is like 15 or 20 years. Got 250.
Wow.
But actually, I have more than that now, but I stopped counting at 250.
Yeah, and one of the things I don't really consider myself a major writer, and that's one of the reasons why I put an ad in the paper looking for somebody to collaborate with who was more of a writer that I could bounce ideas off of, and it's really worked out.
So how did everything start then from the ad? The ad say, I'm looking for someone who has my musical talent.
Well, basically, if I remember correctly,
You should tell the story of how you...
It was in the Trading Times, which is now what Craigslist would be, except then you had to pay $1 for it, and it came out every Friday.
Huh.
And I got it faithfully for years, and my friends were always laughing at me. They're like, you're still reading that stupid paper, nothing's happening, right? So if I remember right, it said something about that she was looking for, I think you might have said multi-instrumentalist, I'm not sure. But you said a strong vocalist.
Just looking for somebody to collaborate with on original music, who, maybe had strong...
Yeah, whatever it was, I showed it to my sister and I said, look, she's looking for me. And my sister rolled her eyes. She's like, oh, yeah, again, another one. It was funny.
Right. But apparently she was looking in the Trading Times for years, right?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And
I responded to ads, too. And some rejected me and some I rejected. It's just the way it goes.
And what year was this? Like sometime in the 90s?
99? 98?
98, yeah.
Because then I see here on your bio that Time to Turn was your first album released in 99. So it was a
Yes.
quick turnaround to make your
Yeah,
first
It
album.
was amazing. The first time I met her and she played me a few songs, I was like, I knew.
Well, let me tell you about her when she played her demo for me. I'm kind of rough around the edges with my music. And I had heard other people's music and not always impressing to me. And they would talk a really big game. And she was very like, yeah, I got a couple of songs, they're okay. So I played her mine and I'm like, yeah, this is mine. And I felt relatively confident. And then she played me hers. I was like, I feel like I got suckered at pool. It was horrible. I was like, I look like an idiot. I mean, hers was like all polished, like this old diamond. And I had thrown this slop out, but but really, I could just tell right away that we sound remarkably the same, actually, vocally. Especially.
Yeah, and it really is hard to find somebody that you really connect with and click with like that. And not just with the writing, but vocally. I think we have a really great chemistry. People always come up to us all the time when we're playing and say it, and it's true.
It's something that we really like. We really like the harmonies. We really like singing them.
And you definitely sound great. I was actually out there, listeners in Radio Land, I was there to see the Non-Domestiks. I think I reached out to them on a Wednesday, and they said, hey, we're playing live at a local bar on Saturday. So I was able to come after work here and watch them for about an hour or so. It was around 11 o'clock. I stood about a little after midnight. It was a great set, at least for the part that I saw. How much did you practice? Once like, wow, I found someone that likes the same style and music I do. Did you try to practice as much as you could?
I think we actually did practice a lot.
Yeah, we got right to it. We were,
we would spend an entire Saturday together, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we were really putting a lot of, and I think we did the EP relatively quickly after that.
Yeah.
And, we landed a gig at the Tin Angel, I think just the year later.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
So things were really going well and quickly, and and then
there was a lull.
Well, I don't know what happened.
There's always little lulls along the way.
I think we got sucked into just gigging and
right.
playing covers too, because we
Right.
wanted to gig and everything, and we're still doing original things and covers, and
It's nice to do both. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of their music out there, listeners, the Non-Domestiks have graciously gave me some of their tracks. I'm going to be playing a couple songs throughout this program this evening. So speaking of songs, we were talking off the air earlier about you're more of a prog rock kind of girl growing up, and you liked all kinds of music and everything. So how could you say to listeners what kind of music you really listen to inspire you to make what you're making today?
Well, prog rock was definitely a part of what I listened to, but I really was really into Bowie and Lou
That's
Reed
right,
and stuff
yeah.
like that too, and that was a very strong influence. Like for instance, like one of the songs in September Monday reminds me of a Lou Reed song, and I would say that as far as artists that have inspired me, definitely Bowie, the Beatles, that type of thing, and as far as prog rock, Genesis, and yes. But as far as the question again, can you repeat?
Well, just the music that you grew up listening to, how does that work into your music right now that you're playing?
Yeah.
The inspirations. Like,
Well, I think on September Monday, it's really a good example of all our influences. We really kind of, I'm going to say, stole or pay homage to a lot of different things on that album, and a lot of things that we heard and things that we've liked.
Yeah, that album really represents, you'll hear pretty much everything that we're influenced by. Moody Blues, Beatles, like I said, Lou
Joan
Reed.
Jett.
There's
Joan
really
Jett.
a lot. Jefferson Airplane who she really likes. There's a song on there that sounds like that. It definitely brings out our influences more than any other recording we did, I think. Yeah.
And I'm about to play in a few moments the song "Is There No One" from
September
Monday. I had to think for a second. So tell the listeners right now, what is September Monday? And as far as that song, is there any inspirations behind that or any meaning?
Well, September Monday was something that I came up with the idea many years ago because on the way to work I heard a story about how statistically there were more suicides on Mondays in September's, and I was just kind of drawn by that because I was thinking, in a very small way, what might lead people to that, and I just was thinking about it. And so I had written that song a while ago, and we had decided that we were going to, use that for the new album. But when we started doing the album and getting all these other songs together, it was almost like a puzzle that was already there, and we were just plugging songs in, and we're like, this one goes here, this one goes there.
And it developed into a story. It was actually a story. And it was so
and
cool.
Is There No One was one that was written. Some of them are older songs and some are new. It's maybe 75% new and then 25% older. And Is There No One is one of the new ones. It was kind of written for a specific spot, but not really. But it's basically near the end of the sad part of the album before there's an upward turn, because it does end on a positive note, and that's sort of like almost the lowest point as far as mentally. It's the heaviest one that way.
Yeah. It's the anger. It's ends
the
with
despair.
an explosion.
It has the most despair.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
But it's an interesting album in that it shifts moods, and we actually really can see it. I can see this on Broadway. I really can. I can really see it whole 9 yards, dance, choreography.
Wow.
I think it would make a great play or staged somewhere as a theatrical production.
So that's something we have in the back of our minds at all times.
So this is your version of The Wall, basically.
Yeah, well.
It's better than The Wall.
But yeah, I definitely see it in that light, and it's nice, I hope it happens someday.
We'll do it someday if we win the lottery and we can put it on ourselves. It'll happen.
Yeah.
I'll be right there to see it. So just to let you know out there, listeners of Radio Land, that they also do covers. And after I play Is There No One, I'm going to be playing an awesome Cream cover that they have. Yeah. Can you tell us about Cream? And is that something that you also grew up listening to, or just a song, hey, we should cover that?
It was just a song that, we always feel like we should do more blues. People love blues, but... it's hard to find.
It's an awfully fun song to sing.
Yeah, and I like to do different things. And to me, it was an unusual song that not too many people think of. And when we started singing it in unison, it just had this really kind of, it just had a different feel to it. Hearing these two, girls kind of just singing it, which was a very like male kind of song from Cream, like one of the top blues bands of the 60s. So, it just popped into my head one day, and I thought, let's try it, and we loved it.
It definitely sounds really great. Well. And out there, you'll be able to hear that in a few moments. But right now, as I mentioned, you are rocking with the Rock on SNJ Today, 1240 a.m. and SNJToday.com. I'm here with Katrina Rosava of the Non-Domestiks, and right now we're going to hear a song from their album, which came out in September, called September Monday. This song is There No One?
Here all Hi, this is Rebecca Kowalowitz, social media manager, and you are rocking with the Rock exclusively on SNJ Today, 1240 AM and SNJToday.com.
All right, you are back here rocking with the Rock on SNJ Today, 1240 AM and SNJToday.com. I'm here with Katrina and Razab with the Non-Domestiks. We were just talking off air about their writing style, of how they collaborate together and have lyrics and music, so maybe we can jump in and talk about that.
Sure.
So you said you're not really one with lyrics.
Right.
And that's more of Katrina's realm and expertise. So how many times you say like, wow, I have this awesome piece of music. I just need words to them. Do you present them to her like, help me out here?
Yep, that's pretty much it. And yeah, that was definitely one of the reasons why I seeked out a collaborator for lyrics. And also, I didn't really consider myself one, like I didn't write 250 songs and all that stuff. I only maybe write like once in a while something will come out, and and it's great. I wish I could write that frequently, but I just never could. And that's another thing. I just wanted somebody to bounce ideas off of musically, but mainly lyrics. Yeah, I just never really was my thing. And
she doesn't even listen to lyrics.
I don't. I really don't. I listen to music first and foremost, and if it doesn't hit me musically, I won't even give it the time of day.
Wow.
But with the exception of Dylan, I mean, Dylan's not strong. Like,
I'll give him a pass.
But he's brilliant at writing simple chords. But he fit it so well, and he was a genius that way. But anyway, so I would just have a song completely written from start to finish with what seemed to be like a chorus and bridge, and I just didn't have words for it.
Yeah, at the time, actually, when we met, she was working on a Korg with the sequencer, so she had some that were completely, set up, and she would play them for me, and Like a good example, I think, is Hitchcock Blonde. It was completely set up all instrumentally, and I just listened to it over and over again. Sometimes when I was falling asleep, I would listen to it until things just started, coming to me. And sometimes with Try, when I did the same thing, I was writing the first lyric, and I'm like, I don't even like this lyric. It doesn't make any sense. But I was like, just go ahead and go with it. So I did. And then sometimes I have to look at them and see what I'm even trying to say, because I don't always know. But it's interesting that way.
Now, what's your inspiration for all the lyrics? Is it more personal things or just things that you feel that society can relate to?
Most of it's personal, which is actually why I don't write words as much as I used to, because I don't know if I've said as much as I need to say, because after a while you're like, well, I said that, I've brought that point out. So most of them are personal, and some of them are just, general things that everybody, I think, can relate to. Like sometimes, like with Guilt Driver, I don't know if you're going to play that tonight, but some people will be specifically asking me what that's about. And it's sort of like, well, it could be anything to anybody. I mean, everybody's done something, and that's really kind of what that's about. It's not really a specific event in my life.
It's just a line from that. The only way to climb is by always looking higher. What a great line.
Sure.
I could never come up with something like that. Or Hitchcock Blonde. What a great title. People are always, wow, this is a great title.
So you make the titles up too, then?
Well, yeah.
Well, that's part of the song. Actually, that song, we're not doing that tonight, but that song, I will tell you what that's about, because it's kind of hard to tell from the lyrics. But that has a lot to do with what society projects on us and what we see and what we think we're supposed to be and how everybody's wrapped up. And it's funny because at the time I wrote that, it wasn't even like it is now. This was pre, Facebook, internet, stuff like that. And I was really just talking about the movies and TV. So it's even worse now than what I was talking about, but that's what it's about.
It definitely relates, though. So, I am going to be playing Guilt Driver later on in the show.
Okay, yeah. Across the Table, that was one that I wrote these chords. She rearranged the chords and came up with a melody, and then I listened to it and got the words to go with the melody. And it's sort of all about just how you can feel uncomfortable around strangers and in odd places, and just it's nice if you have somebody there that that's with you all the time, and that's kind of what it's about.
Sure, that's great. And then the Happy Defiant, where did that come from?
That was because this song, when we were coming up with the music, we were like, that actually sort of reminded me of Joan Jett, and Joan Jett's always defiant, but it was just a happy song. So we didn't know what to call it, and so we were just like, well, it sounds happy, but it's
paradox.
defiant,
Right.
And then we had to come up with the words to match it.
Right.
And that album, actually, you said was re-released in September of last year, but was out in
I think it was like 2007, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 2007.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we're definitely going to play Across the Table, not Try. I don't know where that came from, but
Just
Well, we
talking.
kept talking about it, so.
so right now out there in Radio Land, I'm going to play their track Across the Table from the Happy Defiant album, and then I'm going to play an awesome cover of the Badfinger that they did. So we'll be playing those two, and we'll be right back here on Rockin' with the Rock with the Non-Domestiks. Stick around, and if you have any questions for the band, please give us a call at 856-765-1240, 856-765-1240.
Quirky little habits This is Richard Hope, your afternoon talk show host. You're rocking with the Rock right here on SNJ.
No matter what you are, I will always be with you. Doesn't matter what you do, yeah. Ooh, yeah, with you. No matter what you do, I will always be around. Won't you tell me what you found, yeah. Ooh, yeah, I want you. Knock down the old gray wall. Be a part of it all. Nothing to say, nothing to see, nothing to do. If you would give me all, 'cause I would give it to you. Nothing would be, nothing would be, nothing would be. No matter where you go, there will always be a place. Can't you see it in my face, yeah? Ooh, yeah, I want you. Knock down the old gray wall. Be a part of it all. Nothing to say, nothing to see, nothing to do. If you would give me all, 'cause I would give it to you. Nothing would be, nothing would be, nothing would be. No matter where you go, there will always be a place. Can't you see it in my face, yeah? Ooh, yeah, I want you. Ooh, yeah, I want you. Ooh, yeah, I want you.
All right, welcome back. You are rocking with the Rock here in SNJ Today. It is 20 to 7 at SNJ Today studio time. I'm here with the Non-Domestiks, Katrina and Rozaba. We were talking off air about a variety of things regarding their music, about their writing style, about how often they practice, and we were also talking...
Never.
We were also talking about how often they practice right, and as far as their favorite song, they're brainstorming about what their favorite song is. But before we get into that, why don't we talk about first the type of gigs that you do, and you've been traveling all around the country, even internationally performing. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about that?
Well, I found that the Philadelphia market was just kind of, I just wanted to branch out a little bit more at one point. And I always wanted to do a little tour. And, one day I just had an idea. I said, let's take a vacation from our jobs and see if I can do this. And I literally, just called a bunch of venues and did a lot of research. This is when the internet, was really, really helped, having the internet. Because I don't know how I would have done it any other time, but I just tried to find other musicians that were like us in other parts of, up in New England. That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go up north. And saw where they were playing, made a list of the venues, called them all, tried to, and, I actually lined up like maybe 3 or 4 places in the span of a week, and logistically tried to get them all in order or in a way that we could get to them, and I did it. And we did it like a little tour of New England, and it really turned into
really spawned a lot of other things.
Yeah, a lot of other things. One of the venues we played at, the owners moved to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and asked us to play down there. So we ended up having a gig in Mexico because of that, and that was wild.
Somebody else at an open mic was just actually getting back into the music scene, and now she's like just huge up there. But at that time she had taken like some time off, and she was just getting back into it. So we met her at this open mic, and then we've kept in contact with her. Rosalba wound up playing drums on one of her CDs.
Right, and we played like a major venue in Massachusetts, in Shirley, Mass, called the Bull Run. National, a lot of national acts play there, and we ended up playing there, opening for her.
Yeah, that would be GS Picard, by the way.
Yeah, and so a lot of things happened from that, and it was great. And I really would love to do that again. We talk about it a lot, and maybe go. Maybe south, maybe this time Maryland, Washington, D.C., maybe something like that. But it's nice. It really does help to get different audiences and see what's going on in different places of the country. And,
Sure. And even you played in some notable local venues, the Tin Angel, World Cafe, and the Fire. That had to be really cool first time playing there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a thrill.
Yeah, the World Cafe was really nice. Tin Angel was too.
Yeah. Tin Angel's definitely our kind of venue, I think. Yeah.
Do you have any plans on going back eventually to those places?
Definitely. I mean, we'd love to. Now that we really wanted to get more of a band sound to play venues in Philly. So we have a bass player now, and this will allow me to get on drums and.
Yeah, we don't like to necessarily do the originals as a duo as much as the covers. We're fine with that.
Yeah, because we're not really singer-songwriter type, acoustic guitar, that's it. Our songs, as you can hear, there's a lot of production going on, and we really feel that there's a lot missing when we're just breaking it down to just a guitar, and even if we just drag a keyboard along, it just doesn't have the same energy. So, and again, it's hard to find players, but we found a great player that's willing to play with us now, and so yeah, that's going to be our goal in the rest of the remainder of this year, and hopefully next year, definitely.
That's great. So why don't you tell the listeners about your possible meetup in the 80s? You almost drew
Well,
past.
It was
went
fate,
to-
folks. We were destined to
Fate
meet,
not to
and you
meet
will.
me.
Yeah, right. No, destined to meet you. Actually, I mean,
not
something was definitely trying to get. I know. So, do you want to tell a story?
Well, we both went to Glassboro, which is now Rowan, and we were there at the same time. And we were both majoring in communications, weren't we?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, but we never met each other, and we both actually dropped out.
We both dropped out
at the same time. And then about maybe 2 or 3 years after that, we were best friends with two different people in the same band. So basically, I was going to see the band because I was friends with the guitarist. She was going to see the band because she was friends with the drummer. And I don't know how we saw them because we obviously saw the same shows, but we never met. And so that was just one of those weird things.
Yeah, and it was pretty wild because when she answered my ad, and she told she was still friends with this guitar player, and said, "I'm meeting this girl named Rosalba," and he's like.
Oh, he's like, oh, I know her. Yeah, you guys would work well together. And I almost killed him. I said, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, I've been looking at that paper for years. And he's like, what? I was like, okay.
Oh, wow. I wish I was there to hear that.
So it was pretty amazing, though, to think that we came so close. And, what would have happened had we met early in our careers? And, well, we can only, think about it now. We will never know. But there was some reason that...
I think I needed to settle down.
Yeah, maybe we weren't...
I was a little too rock and roll, I think.
And like I said, it's better late than never, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would never
That's
have
right.
these songs tonight that I would play. They would never existed if you didn't meet at all.
It's true.
So I'm going to play up next, coming up, make sure I have the name right so I don't say any names I'm not playing.
Let's try.
I'm going to play Guilt Driver next, and you were talking about how it just relates to people and such.
Yeah, like I was saying, some people ask me like specifically what's that about, and it's really just about it could be anything to anybody, because I really doubt there's any of us that don't feel guilty about something we've done in our lives. And so that's really what it's about. It's not like about a specific thing per se.
Yeah, pretty deep message, and obviously everyone can relate to it. And then I'm going to play next a great Yes version of Your Move, which is another song about playing chess in the beginning. If you ever heard the analogy and metaphor of playing chess, this is the song everyone...
Yeah, I love the line in that, actually, don't surround yourself with yourself. I think that's
It's
like
a
a
great
fantastic
line.
line.
It is great. A lot of people call up my program, can you play that chess game song? I'm like, oh,
Really?
you mean yes? You know, at least they got sort of the same name of it or whatever. But yeah, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, we're here talking to Katrina and Rosalba of the Non-Domestiks. It's almost about 10 of 7. I'm going to play a couple more tracks, and then we'll get back to talking about future gigs they have and also where you can contact them on social media and all other locations on the internet. So we'll be right back after these 2 songs.
The time has come to say goodbye to my guilt trapper. So we're talking about growing stone. Sometimes things need to be left alone. Feeling it serves no good purpose, you know it's free time. Instead of lighting a match under long extinguished fires, the only way to climb is always sitting high. The time has come to say goodbye to my guilt driving. It's a matter of just pulling up the weeds. I'm looking for a good thing and trying to fill a need. Not let it pass the stakes, log it down in the pit now. I'm used to songs that do nothing but leave you uninspired. The only way to climb is always getting higher. The time has come to say goodbye to my guilt driving. The time has come to say goodbye to my guilt driving. Want you hanging around my dreams no more. What's the point when there's no way to even up the score? 'Cause what I did is done, still like my stone. So I'm here to say guilt driver, you better move along. The only way to climb is by always looking higher. The only way to climb is by always looking higher. The only way to climb is by always looking higher. The only way to climb is by always looking higher. The time has come to say goodbye to my guilt driver.
Hey, this is your Daybreak host, Andy Cortman, and you're rocking with a rock. Exclusively on SNJ Today, 1240 a.m. and SNJToday.com.
Go straight and strong across the corner of your life. Make the white fleet run so fast.
And we're back here on Rockin' with the Rock. It's almost 7 o'clock here, SNJ Studio Times. I'm with the Non-Domestiks, Katrina and Rozaba. And Katrina and Rozaba, I was just thinking, wow, I never asked you, where did the Non-Domestik name come from? I know we talked about it earlier before we went on the air, so why don't you tell the listeners about where this name came from?
Well, I just was first. We were when we originally got together. When we first got together, we called ourselves Beat Theory, and we'd never really felt comfortable with that name. And there were just a lot of bands out there with the word theory in their band name. So we decided, we really should come up with something different. And just brainstorming one night, I was driving in the car, and it just popped into my head, Non-Domestiks. What about that? What do you think of that? And it just had a nice ring to it. And then the more we kept thinking about it, it seemed like it had a lot of hidden meanings to it that you could get from it. So why don't you?
Well, one of the meanings is that we're not quite domesticated yet. We don't quite want to just stay in the kitchen and do the things that domesticated women do. No, just a little bit on the wild side. Non-domestics.
Untamed. What would you say?
A little untamed.
A little untamed.
It's a catchy name.
Yeah.
It's decay.
People like whenever we get a laugh, we get a reaction out of people whenever they see the name, and that's a good thing. B Theory never really cared. But
yeah, some people call it Beth Theory,
or
Beat Therapy.
Beat Therapy. That was my favorite one. But Non-Domestiks, it gets a reaction out of people. It makes them laugh. It's just it doesn't. We don't want to take ourselves too seriously either. And it's just and it just has a nice ring to it. Sort of like the Eurythmics. The Non-Domestiks.
Right.
Type of thing.
Yeah, definitely catchy.
Yeah.
Now, for those out there who are like, who are these girls? I never heard of them. What would you say is one of your favorite songs or albums that they should really go on your website and listen to? Like, this is what our music's about. Listen to this song or album. And
album-wise, I'd definitely say September
Me
Monday
too.
because it's really representative of a lot of what we can do.
Yeah. September Monday to me definitely is, I would say it's our peak album so far.
Yeah.
It's definitely where our voices are just so, how they should be. And the first album we kind of, it was a lot of songs that she had written in the past and I had written in the past, and we kind of just put them together.
We were talking about Try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second album was kind of quirky. We just put some songs together, and there were just so many different types of things. And it's got some great moments on it. But I think September Monday really
September
defines
Monday
it well.
I can still listen to from front to
Yeah.
end in one setting, and it's an hour long, and I still enjoy it. And it's been months, and and it's not just because it's my music, but or our music, but there's just something. I like the way it flows. I like to listen to it when I drive my car.
Yeah, it's my overall favorite thing of ours to listen to. That I pretty much.
so has that album now set that bar even higher for you to
Yes,
overcome?
I'm like,
Yes,
tough
absolutely.
act to follow, definitely.
But we will. It'll be even better.
Oh
next time.
God, I don't know.
In just a few moments, we have to break for a couple minutes for the NBC News Top of the Hour. But before we do that, is there any shout-outs you wanted to give to tonight? Anyone or you want to say hello to or promote?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, friends, family.
So when we come back from NBC News, I'm going to ask...
Is that Tom Brokaw? Can we say hi to him?
We're going to find out what's next for the Non-Domestiks, and also they're going to give out some dates that they're going to be here in the local area and also in Philadelphia. So if you want to definitely stop by at any of these venues coming up soon, you'll definitely find out the dates momentarily. But right now, we'll take a break for NBC on the top of the hour right now. And welcome back to the second hour, or should I say half hour, of Rockin' with the Rock. I'm Mark Benedetto, and I'm joined here with Katrina Rozaba with the Non-Domestiks. Don't forget, my show ends in 24 minutes because Angels Baseball pregame live is here at 7:30 on 1240 a.m. All right, so before we wrap up here, you have a couple of gigs lined up. Actually, quite busy the next couple of weeks. I see your next one is July 24th at PB's Diner in Glassboro, and then you have one that following Sunday, July 27th at Stakeout's Home Plate. I've never been in these places. That's why I'm mispronouncing the names there. So as we were talking off the air, a lot of places, which is an honor, when you play there once, they're begging for you to come back. That must feel really great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're all really nice places, actually.
Yeah.
PB's, we always get a really nice crowd. Stakeouts has got this really wonderful outdoor pavilion. They have hammocks.
They have hammocks. They have a beach volleyball.
Wow.
They have an outdoor pool table.
Yeah, it's really
it's
neat.
really a great place. So if anybody out there is listening, you really should head out there. They have live music on the weekends.
And PB's always has a wonderful crowd, always really responsive.
Wow, sounds like a great place.
yeah.
That's nice.
And why don't you talk about your gig that you just did, this
The
past
Redstone?
2 days ago, right?
Yeah,
On
that
Tuesday.
was
That was a
really lot of
nightmare.
fun. No, it wasn't.
It was a nightmare at the end.
The weather was a nightmare,
It
not
was
the-
the gig itself was great. We had a great crowd, and it was
Really, really
wonderful.
nice place.
Yeah.
Well,
but-
what happened was the storm that came through really quickly, and we were trying to kind of play till the rain started. But what happened was the wind just kicked up, and then it opened up, and within
It's like a
maybe
tornado.
10 minutes. So
Yeah.
we packed that car with the help of Glenn and Betsy. Thank you very much.
And the manager of the restaurant.
And the manager of the restaurant helped. And we've never packed that car so fast. It took me longer to untangle the cables than it took me to put the whole stuff in
Yeah.
there.
Wow. So I must ask, what's next now? Do you like to have another album coming out in the near future, or do you want to keep doing more gigs?
Right now we're in live. We want to play live and still promote September Monday. We really didn't have a chance to do that too much, and we're looking to do more original gigs, hopefully the remainder of the year and into next year. I think we need a little bit more time before we get into recording again, because that was a really massive recording. It took a lot of time and energy, and we're still enjoying it and savoring it,
Yeah.
and want to put the word out there about it. So I'm sure in time we'll, maybe in a couple of years probably, or I'm thinking maybe another couple of years we'll probably have something new again. But
And speaking of original gigs, I see that you have one at Fergie's Pub in Philly on August 23rd. I see here you're going to have an hour and a half of original music.
Mm-hmm.
And the other gigs like PBs and Stakeouts, do you throw a couple originals in there?
Not yet. We may, if we get like some sort of following, if people start asking for them,
Sure.
we can do that.
Lavari's will definitely do that. The owner or the booking, the person that books there was very, she liked our original stuff and said if we want to throw one in, that's fine, or two, And,
Yeah.
and we have, we'll choose things that we think are very, likable, upbeat, things that.
Sure.
Yeah, things like Across the Table.
Yeah,
things
or
that.
like like the reggae song would be perfect for an outdoor place that's close to the shore. People
That
are
would
in that
be,
mode of.
If I Had a Wish,
Yes.
the reggae song.
Sorry about that.
Too many songs to think about, right?
Yeah.
It's inside baseball.
And I guess, like you said, it was hard to really play some originals without that big, powerful band behind it. Obviously, you play every instrument in your tracks, but of course, it's being a duo up there, you can't really.
It depends on the song, too.
Right.
We have actually an entire concert that we did in Massachusetts last year promoting the CD, and we did play a lot of them acoustically.
We played the whole thing actually, start to finish, in
We
order.
did. We actually
with just the
did.
two of us.
Wow.
At the first place that we played at, and that was a challenge. But it was just, we just wanted to do that just for the first, the CD release thing, and then after that we, but we did do it live. We do a lot of songs live.
But it's really nice when there's three of us and we have that bass player, because she'll start out on guitar, and then maybe halfway through the set she'll go back on the drums. And so now we have the guitar, the bass, and the drums, and we have a regular, three-piece
Right.
band. And
That's nice.
It's nice.
And speaking of your songs and albums, why don't you tell the listeners out there, about your music as far as availability? Is it online? Is it on iTunes? Where could people get actually your music to listen to?
All of our CDs are on iTunes. They're also available through our Facebook page. Just look up the Non-Domestiks.
With a K.
With a K.
Okay. That makes it.
And a dash between non and domestics. Right, there's a dash there. But anyway, the Facebook page, you can buy through that. You can. We have them available on our website, which is just Non-Domestiks, no dash.
No, you can't buy them on the
.com.
website.
No?
No, I took that off.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
There's a link, though, I think, on your website that sends
Yeah,
you right
there's
to
a
the
link
iTunes.
to CD Baby, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or
there you go.
iTunes. Actually, there's a link to CD Baby and iTunes.
CD Baby, again, just do a search on our name. We're there. And as I said, we have our website, nondomestiks.com. That's pretty much it. And
CD Baby is the only place that you can buy the actual hard disc CD.
see. Okay.
Everything else will be a download.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you were talking earlier about that cool music video. I must have missed it on your website. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's not on our website. It's on our Reverb Nation page.
Oh, see, that's why I missed it.
I haven't put it on there. My bad.
Well, we shot it last year, actually, in November, shortly after our CD was recorded, by a wonderful videographer named Abner Diaz, who really is very talented and really does great work. And I reached out to him and I found out about him. I met him through Sylvia Platypus, actually, that other band I'm playing drums with. And he was willing to do this for us. It was always my dream to do like a real music video, MTV style, the whole 9 yards,
right.
Filmed, on location. And we went out to the Ben Franklin Bridge, and there's some beautiful shots.
It really was dark and cold, just like the song says.
Yeah. But he really captured the feel of the song really well, and it's our first official video, so we're really proud to have it available. And it's, you'll see it on Reverb Nation.
Yeah, and it's on YouTube.
So was it reverb.com/non-domestics?
It's just pretty simple. And
you can also type non-domestics in the search box. It has to be the non-domestics, though, I think.
You have to check that out.
And YouTube, if you just do a search on us there, you'll find some videos of us performing live as well, but it'll be there. So.
Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said earlier, there's a lot of dates here. They'll be at PB's Diner on Thursday, July 24th from 7 to 10. On that Sunday, July 27th, they'll be at Steakhouse Home Plate. The Old Ore House, that's where I'll be at, probably seeing them on Saturday, August 2nd. And then on August 10th, they're at Lavari's, which is in Tuckahoe. It's on that little, you make the left to go to Ocean City, you make the right to go to Sea Isle. It's right in the middle there.
Yeah. So when you're coming back from the shore on a Sunday, stop by, have a nice dinner, and listen to us play. It'd be great.
And then Saturday, August 16th, they're at PB's Diner. And then the 23rd, their original set at Fergie's Pub on Sansom Street. Now, do you keep going on and on to the holiday season, or is there like a month, like we're going to take a break for this month, or how does that really work?
No, I think we're just going to keep going.
We're going to keep going. We're going to see what happens. September's already working out to be a busy month. We're going to head up to New England again, and
great.
We play a women's concert series at an inn up in New Hampshire. We've been doing that every year. But we're just going to keep plugging away and keep playing and.
Yep, just keep going.
And once again, your Facebook page is the non-domestic.
It's basically www.facebook.com/the non-domestics, no spaces or dashes or anything, and we'll come right up.
And actually, for those listening out there, if you go to my Facebook page, if you like my page, I'll actually have them linked in a couple of photos, and their Facebook page is right there on mine. So it's an easy way just to click that link, and you'll be able to go to their page. And don't forget to like their page, because likes are a big deal.
Yes, please. Like us.
Yeah, people think likes are just like a bragging right, but really the more
No, it's actually really important.
Right, because the more people like, the more it reaches out to other people. And what's this non-domestics? And they start looking into your.
Well, it's also too. I think that the club owners now, if they check out your page and you don't have likes, they just are going to assume you don't have any likes.
Yeah. So
because they don't know.
Right.
They don't know if they don't hear you.
That's true. I didn't think of that. So popularity wins, then, I guess.
Well, it's helpful. It's just helpful because especially if they've never heard you, it's just something to give you a little extra boost to get their attention.
Right. Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, time does fly, and I'm going to get ready here for Almost Angels pregame live. But for this last hour and 15 minutes and change, we had the Non-Domestics with Trina Rizaba. Once again, they're on Facebook, social media. Their albums are on iTunes, and feel free to look at my page, and their link will be there. You can click, if you can't remember the spelling of their name, click the link on my page. It'll direct you to their page, and I appreciate you driving out, like I said, for tonight. It was a great interview, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And the sun is setting behind us, so I can't wait to check it out. And I definitely, like I said, appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
The crowd is going wild.
And as you know, ladies and gentlemen, I have some of their music now, and I got permission to play some of their tracks. So I'll definitely be squeezing them in throughout my set here, every show I have. So stay tuned, and now you'll know that the Non-Domestics that you heard on the radio, you got to hear a whole hour and a half about how the songs are made and the meanings behind some of the songs and some things about where the band was inspired to play some of the music. So it was really neat to have a behind-the-scenes look about how, the musician actually brings that piece on the canvas really to life, and it's great. And I always like to have the background stories of artists telling about why they create so much work and
Well, thank you.
different musician parts.
It's
So
very nice to be here.
yes, so once again, hopefully you come back. That'd be great. When
Absolutely.
you promote the next album,
Yeah.
a couple of years, give me a call, I guess. And don't forget to check them out on Thursday, July 24th at PB's Diner, or locally here at August 2nd at the Old Ore House. They'll be, yes, Ore House, the Old Ore House. I have to say that slow. I get yelled at a
Yeah,
lot
I
when
know.
people, where'd you go last night? They'll be there August 2nd at 9 to 1 a.m. right there on High Street. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thank
and right
you,
now,
Mark.